Hey guys, this is HotNoob here, and this is part 4 for the particle effects. I'm just going to set this timer here so I don't go over the time limit that YouTube has. Anyway, so we were at just the first frame pretty much for the particles. Okay, timer's up, yaddy yaddy. So now that we have all of the particles showing up when we click, the next thing we need to do is move them, right? We need to animate the particles. So now we're going to be creating the update formulas. So I'm going to say function update particle. I believe I haven't made one called that yet anyway. So just go particle here. And forgot to add with the add particle, we want to add a direction to it. Now because I don't want to use the whole sine and cosine and whole trigonometry crap here, because honestly, those functions, those math, sine and whatever, they're very inefficient. You want to avoid them at all costs within mathematics. There are, however, some instances where you can't avoid them, but in this case we can. All we have to do is create our own little simulation of an angle. So I'm going to create a variable here, and it's going to be the setting, and we're going to call this degrees. And we're going to, degrees. I'm going to be using, say, 30 degrees. The problem with this, though, is the more degrees you have, the faster the particles are going to be moving away, right? That's just a limitation to this formula that I'm going to be creating here. It's really very simple. First of all, in the particle, we're going to have to add in some properties to it. So we're going to say x speed, right? And hopefully you get my drift of what's going to happen. So y speed, you probably already know what I'm going to be doing, right? And I'm going to pretty much do the same thing we did here, and this is going to determine pretty much what angle it's going to be going, the direction, and whatever, right? So we're going to say particle dot x speed is equal to math.floor math.random times degrees, or whatever I called it. Just check so I don't make a mistake. So degrees with 2 e's. And then minus degrees divided by 2. Dividing it by 2 is probably still more efficient than calling it, or whatever. Whatever, I'm just going to divide this by 2, for that, few milliseconds of efficiency. So degrees, B2, right? So degrees divided by 2. You can probably just divide it by 2 every time you call it, or whatever. I don't know exactly how JavaScript works or is set up, so this might actually make it less efficient. It really depends on the browser you're using. Anyway, so y speed, and we just pretty much do the same thing here. Actually, for y speed, what we're going to do is we're going to take degrees, and because we want this to be controlled, we're going to subtract. Well, it all depends on what you want to do. If you want the speed of the particles to be random, then you just put another random function. But in this case, I want the particles' speeds to all be the same. So we're just going to subtract particle.x, or x speed from it. Sorry, I'm not thinking here. Still gonna need to use random, whatever, just screw it. We're gonna use different speeds. I'm just not in that mood to, you know, just think about it. So, hopefully you're not gonna get any, particles with a speed of 0. I'm just gonna, yeah, gonna say like actually variable speed equals that, and then let's say, sorry, variable speed, and I'm just going to use a while statement here. So while speed does not equal, actually it doesn't matter if it equals 0. I'm going to do that whole constant thing or whatever. So just variable speed here. I'm going to make usually I don't even know why I'm putting it in variable here. So we got variable speed, and then we're just going to do if math dot random okay, this isn't going to be very efficient, but I'm just a bit lazy. Dot floor it, or sorry, I mean round math dot random. So we're going to say if it's true or if it equals 1, then we're going to take this here, take this value. I'm going to go degrees minus the absolute value. So I believe JavaScript has math.abs or something, so let's go math.abs JavaScript. Let's see if they have it. So they do have an absolute, so go minus math.abs particle x speed, whatever, minus degrees, and this will make it constant or whatever. And we go else whatever. There's a better way of doing it, but I'm just too lazy to. We just go negative degrees. I'm going to put that in a bracket to make it easier to read and whatever. So now that we have a speed, the next thing to do is for the update particles, and I'm just going to check my time here, so 5 minutes here. I'm going to update the particle, and we're just going to say particle dot opacity, right? We're going to minus, where is it, the fade, I called it fade, the fade variable, right? So we're going to make the particle fade out. I'm going to say particle dot x, and then we're going to say plus equals particle dot x speed, and particle dot y plus equals particle dot y speed. Right, so I'm just going to add this update thing here, particles I, an index of I. Sorry, not update, but add. Damn it! I already have an update particle. I don't know. Formulate particle. Move. Just call it move. Process particle. I don't know how I could miss the names there being like exactly the same, right? Process particle, and then we change it. And then we also have to put another thing. Let's say if particle.opacity, I'm going to change the fade value in a sec, is less than 0, right? And we're going to say particle.opacity equals 0. And equals 0, add particles, Okay, I didn't remove them from the parents or whatever, so it's just going to be 0. So it's just going to pretty much just hide it. Process particles. Okay, let's just see what happens here. You run it. There you go. You see get some particles here. Some issues with it though. It doesn't seem to be fading though. I believe the fade variable, I forgot to change it, is way too low. Change it to 5 or 5 there, right? Oops, refresh. There you go. As you can see, it fades. For some odd reason now only one particle is coming out. But as you can see, you sort of got your own little particle effects now if you just click like crazy. Anyway, I'll probably fix this up in the next video. And before I stop, should fix one little thing because this is pretty stupid here. We only want to process the particle, right? If the opacity equals I, right? Opacity doesn't equal 0. Right? And then we're going to have to put another check for the screen. Or an even easier and lazier way, just change the overflow here. Overflow to hidden. Right? And then we don't get the scroll bars showing up. Right? Now you got your particle effects or whatnot. There's still a issue with the speed. And not many of them seem to be going in an upward direction. I'll fix that later. Anyway, you know, just enjoy your bit of work, right? Take a grasp of what you've done. Then I'm just going to pause this quickly while I go for the code to see where that whole issue with only one particle coming out is. Okay, anyway, I just checked it out. The reason for one particle is we have a syntax error in this. I apparently misspelled degree with, or put degree where it should be degrees, right? There we go. See, now you get some nice little explosion thing. Right, and now it seems a bit more random, right? Although, you know, the random functions in browsers are not very random at all. As you can see, there's none going through the sides there. Anyway, I'm just gonna stop here. I'll fix this up a bit in the next tutorial or video, and the next one will probably be the last one because we're almost done the particle effects. As you can see, right, we have something working. Anyway, come check out my blog if you have any questions or comments. Please post something up, right? Just ask if you don't understand anything. Anyway, come check out my blog.